Well, still running around. I got to watch our horses race, and I have to say I was pretty impressed. Kicked off the day with a great mile from Beef and Cheddar. You know, just goes to show how these guys had these horses ready to go. Beef and Cheddar with a big last quarter, big mile, 55 last quarter, 28-2. Finished third into a hot pace, but the fastest quarter, I'm going to guess, of the day. I don't want to be presumptuous. I didn't look at the chart lines, and I didn't see all the other races, but I would say within the grassroots, maybe, I could be wrong, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It doesn't matter. Finished third, I would assume one of the fastest, if not the fastest last quarter of the day, 28-2, mile 55 and a piece, and looked very, very good doing it. Bob McClure drove Adrenaline Rush like he was tons the best, and he certainly looked like he did. Now, no digs on how Bob drove him. First over, drove to the lead down the backstretch, kept at him because he knew, he can pull up on you, the bugger. Bob kept at him, did a great job, and won the race easily in 1:57. Now, out on the track comes No Free Lunch. Mario drove him like he was the best, and he raced like he was 6-1. Now, 27:56. Considering I just watched Adrenaline Rush win in 57, I think maybe it was a little hot. The track's fast to begin with down there. So, I'll be frank, I was a little upset after the race. I thought maybe he drove him too hard, and that precipitated his loss because he walked down the lane. That's not like that horse. This is a colt that I come 26 flat in with earplugs in June. So this whole getting beat on the end of it by grassroots horses didn't sit well with me. But at the same time, Harry had said, something's got to be up. He should have won. We'll get him checked out. I mean, I don't want to keep beating the drum and using the excuse of allergies and mucus and stuff, but it's real. It's there, and you can see it with other horses. Some horses are more pronounced, especially like Walk on the Moon. Looked great when we had them covered up the week before. Then the other night, we cut them loose and mucus, allergies, redness, maybe even a few flecks of blood in there. 27-1 burned him up, and he got beat badly in the Sire Stakes race. And then when you look at today with No Free Lunch, looked similar to what happened the other night. So we got to be a little more protective of our horses. Now, I can't really make fun of Mario that he drove No Free Lunch perfectly. I think he overdrove. Beef and Cheddar. I think he overdrove No Free Lunch, but at the same time, I suppose going to the half with a bow in his neck, you're thinking he's going to win with the earplugs in 54. But he come to a little bit of a halt coming out of the turn. We're going to have to figure out what happened there. Still lots of racing with this colt, but we're going to have to be very protective of him in the future. I think that goes without saying, and I think Mario will probably be the first one to tell you that. So there was that, and then First Glance left a little bit, got spotted, looked like he put a little step in the first turn, ended up third over, and then somebody slid out in front of him. It was kind of a mixed-up trip. He ended up a closing fourth, but with that hot pace up front, I think Mario wanted to get moving because it looked like, the second, third, and fourth horses were getting stretched out, which they were, but so were we. So, as much as I think maybe Mario was a little tough on No Free Lunch, I think it pales in comparison to how tough Bob McClure was on Proline. I think he just let him sail. Obviously, he was a handful today. He had his hands full. Half and 53-1. I'm going to go ahead and let him say bit aggressive with Proline, but that happens sometimes. These are babies, and I see that they just bought this horse. I don't know what went into that purchase or the dialogue or prices that went with them. I have no idea, but clearly a fast colt with some suicidal tendencies. He can really dance, but 53-1's it's a tall order. It's hernia, so that happens. Obviously, the colt got away from Bob. There's not much you can do with it. You try to keep him quiet and calm and, try and settle him down, but obviously there was no settling him today. And I think First Glance got chewed up a little bit by the speed, but obviously still coming at the wire. Decent fourth for him. I also got to watch the Meadows. I got to watch our boy Arctic Force. Now, I trained Arctic Force on Monday. I kind of told you guys, I let the cat out of the bag. I said, this colt's got a quarter crack he's dealing with. A little short coming into the race, coming off the virus, but Mark drove him perfectly. Very, very happy with the way Mark drove it. That goes without saying. Mark always drives virtually perfectly. But very happy with the way he drove the horse coming in, and just let him finish up on his own steam, and he was coming at the wire. I thought the horse raced game. Thought he raced good. He must have paced 54 flat, and was closing in on them. So we get that foot healed up. He's got a little set of window. He's got a window bar on his left front foot for that. So what a window bar is, if you guys, we use them sometimes. So the foot separation is at the back part of the outside of the wall. So what you do is you have a normal shoe, but you cut it off here. So the quarter crack's here. You cut it off and you put it like that. That's called a window bar, and it takes the pressure off that corner of the foot. Now, you could see he looked pretty sound to me. I thought he was dramatically better than he was when I trained him on Monday, when we decided to cut that out, clean it out, dry it up best we could, and put a window bar on. Tim has done a great job getting that horse close to 100% today, and Mark drove him perfectly. So no complaints there. I think he's sitting on coming back to himself. That's a good mile for Arctic Force, and he fits that class for a while. So again, it looks like we're going to find a good class for a horse that needed it badly. So I was happy with Arctic Force. I was really happy with everybody. I guess I wasn't unhappy. I guess I'd say I was a little disappointed with No Free Lunch. But here's a colt that's got blinding speed, and I think maybe Arctic Force thought he was a little better today than he actually was, and maybe got ahead of Mario a little bit. Mario went 27, 56 and 2. He slowed him down 29 and 2. Looked like he had them put away, and then the last turn, the bottom fell out of him. Was that time off? Was that allergies? Did he bleed a little? I'm not really sure. But we'll get to the bottom of it. And I think most importantly, regardless of what we land on, what we decide as a group, or by the vet, or Harry, or I, or Mario, or whatever, what we decide was the factor or the factors in him coming up short like that. We need to protect this colt. So probably stay in the grassroots for a bit. I don't want to tangle with those colts that are creatures in the golds. So keep him in the grassroots, hide him his next 2 starts, and if he's good enough, he should be able to win from behind. If he's not good enough, then he's not good enough, but he's going to be protected. So there'll be no more front ends, no more quarters in 27 seconds with No Free Lunch. Going to protect that colt and make sure we do the best job we can with him moving forward. Aside from what's left in 2020, we want to have a good horse in 2021, and we're not going to have one doing that. So I'm not going to just cast aspersion and say, oh, it was Mario's fault. I'm not going to do that. Mario drove the colt like he was the best, and he wasn't. So that happens. Let's figure out why he wasn't, and then next time we're going to protect him and put him in a spot where, if he's as good as we believe he is, he'll win anyway. Anyway, that was today. Another pretty decent day for the stable. Adrenaline rush. Kevin and him ready to rock. Bob drove him great, and he looked good. Very happy with Beef and Cheddar. Hey, we should throw a party. It's the first time he ever actually raced and didn't get set back. So that's good. That's good. We stayed on the course today, stayed on the racetrack today, so that's awesome. So Beef and Cheddar raced good. Adrenaline Rush raced great. The other 2 colts, lackluster. I shouldn't say lackluster on the gray horse. I thought he raced okay. Pace 55, I think 55 and 2, something like that. Being out since the 3/8, I think, probably, and the speed in front of him probably did him in. I thought he raced a game 4th, and the other colt was a little lackluster. So not a bad day overall. I did want to touch on, when I didn't on the videos also, is the sales coming up. I really appreciate it. As I touched on in the opening portion of your videos, we had a number of people respond to the survey that we had put out. I really appreciate that. We're going to send a mass email out to people, so if you want to respond to me specifically. Now, if you have responded and said, Anthony, I think with everything going on, or everything, or I'm going to put this much in, or I believe I can put this much in, or I'm really excited about this year, this is what I'd like to put in, you don't have to respond. And you don't have to anyway. But if you want to give me a heads up and a little help putting together, I guess, a information-based purchasing program for this fall, that would be much appreciated. You guys have done a great job doing that so far, and I thank you for that. And hopefully it works out well. I know Tuesday's the first sale. I got a little bit of information on one of the 2 horses I liked. It looks like he's probably going to go for a little more than I thought he would or should. So we're going to back off and look at the 1 horse. I have 1 horse in sale that I'm looking at on Tuesday, and I don't think he's going to bring a lot of money. I wouldn't say he's a flyer. He's a Uncle Peter trotting colt that looks great. But, what's going on here, Meow? Anyway, stop. I will be back to you guys soon with that. I do want to get this horse bought. I don't think it'll go for a lot, and I think it'll work out very well for us. So, keep the emails coming. I love the dialogue with everybody, especially when it comes to the sale. It really gives me confidence and allows me to do my job best I can. Take care. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you had a great weekend.